Hello, everybody. Welcome to Big Fish, Little Fish on a Thursday with a change. Craig Thompson, as I come to you. Hello, mate. Unusual. Addington on a Thursday because Alexandra Park's on a Friday. And the last time we had that was pre-COVID, which feels like about a lifetime ago.
Yeah, good morning, Michael. Good morning, viewers. It was only about 7 months ago, Michael, but it does feel a lifetime ago. And yeah, I mean, turnover's going through the roof at the moment, Michael, which is encouraging for obviously stakeholders and going forward into next season, keeping those stakes up. So at this stage, Addington racing on a Thursday night, I don't think that'll hold any fears to punters betting into their card on a Thursday night. And Auckland, of course, we're looking forward to what is going to be a Group 1 night there on Friday.
Yeah, so Addington have the 11 races, Craig, and look, I think the Sire Stakes Fillies is probably the best race, but maybe the most confusing. Town Echo, who looked a really good horse last season as a 2-year-old, has now joined the Purden Rasmussen team. They weren't getting carried away about her on the website this week. She's around 2.6. I don't think it's just a case of her turning up in race 5 tonight and just winning for fun.
No, I agree with you. I think second row draw makes it very difficult for her. Of course, formerly trained by Matt Anderson. They haven't had her that long. She had a trial with Spankham the other day. He looked pretty forward. I thought she was pretty good in defeat. I think she'll benefit with a run, Michael. And I think second row, I think 260 is too short to answer your question. I thought she was beatable in the race. I think she's probably the best filly there. But I have my reservations tonight about backing her at that price. I thought it was a really tricky race. I think this group of fillies in this race are very even. I think the race will be dictated on what gets the best run, what can use their gate speed. I didn't mind La Rosa as a horse for Mark Jones. I think she's quite a nice filly, and she's around $4. Mark's always had a bit of an opinion of her. Of course, she's out of Safedra, that very good family. I know she's still a maiden, Michael, but she's running some pretty good horses. So I wouldn't mind her on an each-way basis more than the $2 around Town Echo.
Yeah, I think Town Echo is funny. Like, she could come out and Bolton and we'll sort of go, oh, we all should have known. But she's short enough. And as I said, Mark and Natalie not saying on the website they thought she would just be a good thing. I thought there was 5 or 6 there that could win, to be completely honest. Really interesting race. I think this is a crop of horses which have a lot yet to be written about them. The other race of the night, I thought, Craig, before I get your tips, was A Better Act versus the Duns. Stars tonight, Heisenberg and Co. That's the 8th on the card. He's already been backed A Better Act, so opened last night around 2.6-ish, 2.5-ish, into about 2.2. They are a punting stable. There's no doubts about that, the Mitch Kerr stable, but they're also a stable that tends to have their horses right.
Had 2 trials, 2 very impressive trials. The second one was just this week, Michael, and defeated a horse called Yossi, which goes to Oamaru on Sunday. I think it's a cracking bet there. Really like this horse. Gate speed will put him on the speed, and he is probably the horse to beat. He's getting short enough at the moment. I'll tip him to win the race, but I do have a lot of respect for a horse called Jazzy Star. I think he's a very, very nice horse. It's just the unruly's always been a hindrance to him because he has to give them a head start. He's an absolute doofus from a stand, so they've got to put him in a mobile. He blew the start last week when heading deep south. This is his race. He's actually rated to win this race. If they go hard and there's any kinks first up in A Better Act's armour, I believe that Jazzy Star will be the one to test.
Yeah, I can see them going hard. I agree with that. Heisenberg likes to go forward at some stage and get busy, and so does Stars tonight. So, yeah, it could be a tricky race for A Better Act. Okay, for Thursday night punters, those who are thinking, I'll really want to get involved because this is a huge weekend for both codes. What have you found us for the remainder of the card at Addington, Big Man?
Best bit of the night will go around early in race number 1. Very keen on a first starter called Manhattan here. This one's had a couple of really nice trials. The first of them was in an unqualified heat. Came from back in the field to win then. They drove it in front at the trials during the week, and she's got some acceleration, this filly. Got a lovely draw, barrier 3. We don't see Blair Orange drive the Mitchell Kerr team very often unless they're a little bit X-factorish. I quite like this type. I think even at about 240, 250, I think it's the best of the night early on in race number 1. And I thought if you're looking for some value later in the night, a trotter that I think is very well placed in the mobile trot is Did You Bring the Beers?
I knew you were going to say that.
just sort at $5, Michael, from a front row draw. I mean, he's been taking on Muscle Mountain. He's been taking on the very best trotters. This is a significant drop in grade for him. I know there's a couple of handy ones in here, but G gets in this race really well. So you're looking later in the program. It's in race number 9. It's number 9, Did You Bring the Bears? Coming out of Heavyweight Hero and American Pride form. I thought it's a big drop in grade.
I thought the great thing about it too, Craig, he's drawn wide because of the preferential barrier draw, but he's so quick off the gate, he'll beat most of these off the gate in a heartbeat. So I thought he was almost bet of the night for young Corbin Newman, around that $5 sort of 460.
Penalty free, Michael, penalty free.
Yep, mate, we'll get back to you tomorrow for Big Fish, Little Fish on a Friday, because tomorrow night we have the first Group 1 of the New Zealand harness racing season. Join us on hrnz.co.nz then.